Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel. I'm Damien, and today's live stream we're going to be talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. What's going on with the altcoins? We'll take a look at some of your altcoins. Give me your requests and we'll take a look at them on the charts here. But right now we're currently looking at Bitcoin. Can I get a quick sound check? Let me just make sure that you guys can actually hear me. All right, I can actually hear myself. All right, cool. All right. Let's see. So we're looking at the Bitcoin chart here. Currently, Bitcoin is trading at 119,190 bucks. Catching a little bit of some bids here today, and I'm looking at the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. And what I see here with Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart is we're kind of in a bull pennant here, a bullish pennant. For those who don't know, this is a pennant, and because we came into the pennant from below and entering in and doing consolidation here, this is actually a bullish pennant. And the bullish pennant, we can do a little bit of trend analysis. If we measure from where we started off here at $107,000 Bitcoin on July 8th to where we topped out here at $123,000 Bitcoin a week later, we get this little flagpole here, okay? And I can take that flagpole, which is the measured move of the bull flag here, and I put it to like where we could possibly break out of Bitcoin here, where the Bitcoin price could break out at $119,000 Bitcoin. And it's saying that we could see $134,000 Bitcoin, that blue number right there. And I hate to give a price target and also a target date at the same time, but it's saying that, if things go our way, okay, we could see $130,000 Bitcoin by next week, by Monday of July 28th. If you look at the date right here, okay, it's saying July 28th, Monday, July 28th. I mean, that's a little bit of hopium for you guys. Nothing's guaranteed. Bitcoin could easily just come back down, or it could just trade sideways. But that is one of the targets here. But also on the Fibonacci, if I drew a Fibonacci analysis here from where Bitcoin gave us a little scare in June at like $98,000 Bitcoin, up to the high of $123,000 Bitcoin, and the 127.2 Fibonacci extension level saying that Bitcoin can get up to $130,000, and then the 1618 is saying $130,000. So like this target here of $134,000, that sits right in between the 1272 and the 1618. So all signs are pointing towards $130,000 Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin is doing that right now. Like Bitcoin is up $1,800 today, up 1.5%. I think what Bitcoin's doing is it's taking some of the money from the altcoins. Some people are selling their altcoins now because the altcoins, they had a pretty good move, pretty good week last week, and they're overcooked and they're overbought on the RSI, and Bitcoin isn't. If I go into the daily chart here for Bitcoin, let me just zoom in here a little bit, and I click on I go on the RSI for Bitcoin. All right, the oscillator here is saying that the RSI for Bitcoin is at 67.19, which is not even overbought. It's close to being overbought, but Bitcoin's RSI has cooled down since what it was at last Monday when we saw the RSI at 75.9. Okay, Bitcoin was overbought last Monday. Okay, and then of course it was. It was still overbought throughout the week, and then the RSI came down, and now Bitcoin, the bulls can be bullish again on Bitcoin because the RSI has cooled down. Stochastic RSI has come down, and MACD is showing some red candles here, but I wouldn't be surprised if we start getting green candles again on the MACD all over again for Bitcoin. And what this is doing is we're getting a nice solid green candle here on Bitcoin. And it's respecting this pennant. We still have the downward downtrend here, that we have these supply line here. I would like to see us break past this downtrend, these lower highs that Bitcoin's been making, and actually make a higher high on the daily time frame here, either today or tomorrow, would be nice to see. If Bitcoin can get back to $120,000, I believe that's going to get people excited again about Bitcoin, and they're going to probably sell their old coins to get into Bitcoin all over again. All right, and we could just reset and redo this cycle all over again, right? We already measured the bull flag, and this is saying that we could see $130,000 Bitcoin within the next, I think within the next week or two. Okay. We'll see how it goes. I haven't really given any downside targets. If Bitcoin was to come down for whatever reason here, we are still looking at the 618 level here at $113,700 Bitcoin. Also $114,500 Bitcoin. That seems to be a level that Bitcoin tries to go down to. Like we've gone down to those levels here. On Tuesday, July 25th, we came down to like $115,000 Bitcoin, but we violently bounced off of that. And I think, you know, if Bitcoin was to come down, we would first come down to that level, but we might even have to come down a little bit further to the 0.382 level here at $107,000 Bitcoin, where we have, you know, some previous sideways price action has traded sideways at those levels here for the most part. We have a lot of support at $107,000, $108,000 Bitcoin, which was like the previous all-time high back in December of last year and in January of this year. I think that level could be retested just to make sure that it can act as support for us to go to higher prices. But I mean, this is still sort of a guessing game. We're just using price chart analysis to figure out where the price might come down to next within the next, you know, few days to a few weeks here. And I think downside target, you know, Bitcoin revisiting $108,000, $109,000 could possibly come into play again. If it does a steep, you know, dump from where it is right now. Okay, but the upside targets, I'm still holding on to. I think $130,000 Bitcoin up to $138,000 Bitcoin could still be coming up on deck here in the next few days, next few weeks. And I see Porky has made it into the live stream. Nice to see you make it out here, Porky. I'm glad you were able to make it in here, okay? Instead of getting out of here, I'm glad to see that you came in here. I know you love that Boston accent. If I have to kick somebody out, I'm going to tell them to get out of here. But I don't think I have to do that. I think everybody's behaving themselves today so far. Let's see what we have here in the chat. I'm doing a TikTok live stream and a YouTube live stream. A little bit more popular on TikTok. I got a few more people showing up here on TikTok. But let's see. What do we got for the comments here? Alright. Looks like I got some requests already. I do want to finish off by looking at Bitcoin dominance here, guys, before I get into some of these altcoins here. But I appreciate you guys already putting in the requests. So I'll go right down. It looks like we have Doge as a request. We'll look at Doge. And then what else? I got to look at some other ones. Turbo. We'll check out Turbo. Appreciate that request. And then what else? What else we got here? Turbo. Yep. I got you. And then is that a request for Dollar? Is that an actual crypto or a meme coin or something like that? You didn't make any guap on Bitcoin. Oh, well, Bitcoin's been going sideways the past week here, so that's kind of understandable that if you got into Bitcoin, we didn't really do much with Bitcoin here. The old coins have been making money the past week here, but Bitcoin might be changing it up on us this week. We might actually see Bitcoin going back up again. Let's see. Yeah, you requested dollars. And guys, don't forget to double tap the screen here, so that way we can get some more likes on the stream here. Let's not forget to hit that that like button here. All right. For my TikTok guys, you double tap the screen, and my YouTube guys, you know where the like button is. Go ahead and hit that if you haven't already. And then I have a request here, I guess, from MicroStrategy. All right, we'll take a look at MicroStrategy as well. Why not? That's a Bitcoin related stock at this point. We'll take a look at that. Appreciate that request. And then what do we got here? We got Lisa in the chat. I see you, Lisa. And then let's see. Porky is talking about who would have guessed J Powell didn't resign or have emergency rate cuts. Haha, Twitter is the worst. Yeah, I don't really listen to Twitter. They'll say just about anything just to get, you know, a bullish narrative going. But yeah, let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance here quickly, because that I did see was going up. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance, and this is gonna give you guys a read on what the altcoin market is doing out there. So yeah, here we go. We got Bitcoin dominance currently at 60.9%. I think we've seen it go below 60%. Did we go below? No, we haven't gone below 60%. But we're in the low 60 right now on Bitcoin dominance. This is the daily chart for Bitcoin dominance, and you can see that Bitcoin dominance took a good beating over the last few days here, as those altcoins were making money, and Bitcoin was just trading sideways. But that's usually how the altcoins make money, is when Bitcoin is not doing much, and we need Bitcoin to not do anything. When Bitcoin goes up, altcoins kind of follow suit and they try to go up with Bitcoin. But when Bitcoin's going sideways, that gives the altcoins a chance to actually start running against Bitcoin. And we saw that this past week here, after the stablecoin bill passed and the Genius Act got passed and signed into law. That was good for the altcoins, and bad for Bitcoin dominance. But now look, if you look here on the daily chart for Bitcoin dominance, we're starting to get a green candle here, finally, for Bitcoin dominance, and that looking like earlier today it was looking like Bitcoin dominance was doing a bullish engulfing candle, and it kind of still is. You got the green, the body of this green candle is higher than the body of this red candle here, and that's a bullish engulfing candle. If you guys didn't know, that could mean that we might be getting a trend reversal here, and Bitcoin dominance could be going up. Bitcoin dominance going up is okay if Bitcoin price is going up as well. We want to see more money pouring into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin dominance going up, but we don't want to see that at the expense of the altcoins. Okay, so the altcoins, hopefully they'll be able to trade sideways in the meantime, while Bitcoin is trying to catch some bids here. But if Bitcoin dominance does catch some bids, right now the 200-day moving average on the Bitcoin dominance is at 62.52%. That's this red line right here. We might come and revisit that level here and hopefully get rejected and then continue on with our altcoin season. That's what I would like to see. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. But if we get the price coming back up to a 200-day moving average and then getting rejected, we can continue on with our altcoin season here, and it's going to be good. But if Bitcoin dominance comes up and it stays up at that level and it actually starts creeping up to higher prices above the 200-day moving average, then that probably means altcoins are getting devastated against Bitcoin, and it might actually mean that Bitcoin is going down in price, and so is the altcoins. But Bitcoin dominance takes over and grabs more of the money than the altcoins does. So we don't want to see that. We want to see Bitcoin go up in price and altcoins just stay where they're at, or slowly creep up higher if possible. But let's get into your altcoins here. We're gonna look at Dogecoin first. I'm a little curious to see if Dogecoin is overheated and overbought on the RSI, because I know a lot of these altcoins are, and if that's the case, then we might not actually go up in price on Dogecoin. Let's see, Dogecoin is currently trading at 26, almost 27 cents here, down slightly, 0.8% today. Dogecoin did get above the 200-day moving average, and in a convincing fashion, so that's good to see. But I'm gonna probably guess here that the RSI is overbought here. So yeah, RSI on Dogecoin, this red line here, I'll even click on this to kind of blow it up a little bit. RSI is overbought. Anytime you're above 70 on the RSI, you're considered overbought and overheated. And what that does is it makes it harder for you to go up in price on your asset here. In this case, it's going to be a little bit hard for Dogecoin to continue going up to higher prices unless more money pours into Dogecoin and it goes from being overbought to extremely overbought, like into like the 90s on the RSI here. So right now the RSI is sitting at 80. I'm expecting the RSI to eventually come back down to the 70s here, maybe dip down into the 60s. And when you see the RSI actually dip down into the 70s or 60s, that's probably a good time to maybe reload and buy some more Dogecoin on the cheap. So yeah, I think Dogecoin is considered overbought, overheated. The best thing for you to happen for Dogecoin here is for it to actually go trade sideways. Okay, if you were to trade sideways, then this RSI will eventually start coming back down again, and it will go from being overbought to just being close to overbought, or you know, back to neutral territory. Okay, but a quicker way to get the RSI down to lower levels is if this thing actually does drop down to lower prices here. And if it does, you know, I'm gonna pull up a Fibonacci here, okay, measuring from where we topped out at like 28 cents here on Dogecoin and down to like where we bottom out here in early June at like 14 cents, right? Was it 14 cents? Yeah, around 14 cents. We have some levels to look for in the Fibonacci. We could see Dogecoin come down to the 618 for a normal pullback. That takes you down to like 23 cents. More likely is that we actually come down to the 200-day moving average sitting at 21 cents. Which is where the 0.5 retracement is sitting at. So I'm expecting Dogecoin, if it's not able to stay where it's at right now and just go sideways to, like, you know, kind of chill out a little bit, we could see Dogecoin actually come down to 21 cents or 23 cents as your downside targets for like the next few days, maybe the next week or two here. Okay. However, if Dogecoin starts getting a lot of money pouring into it and Bitcoin goes to all-time highs and we just continue the frenzy and the mania in the altcoin space, then yeah, we got a 1272 that says Dogecoin could get up to like 32 cents. And then the 1618 says that Dogecoin could get up to like 37 cents. So those are your targets probably later on this month. I mean, we're towards the end of the month of July right now. But maybe like going into like next month, we might see 30-cent Dogecoin. 37-cent Dogecoin based off of this Fibonacci analysis. So those are your downside and upside targets on Dogecoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these other cryptos. We'll take a look at the Turbo, see how Turbo's doing. I'm pretty sure that Turbo is probably in the same boat as Dogecoin. I think Turbo's is should be another meme coin, just like Dogecoin, but it's one of the newer meme coins out there. And yeah, here we go. We have Turbo currently trading at 0.0054 pennies, down 3.68% today. And what do we got? What do we got here? Just like Dogecoin, Turbo got above its 200-day moving average, this red line here, in a clear and convincing fashion here. And now you're kind of just flagging out, okay? I'll try to quickly draw a flag here. Okay, for it's actually almost kind of looks like a bullish pennant actually. So you're in a bullish pennant for Turbo here. If you were to do chart pattern or trend analysis here, you can measure the measured impulse move here, which would be like the flagpole, and this is the flag. And you just take that measured move, you put it to like where you could break out. Currently where Turbo's at, and it's saying that if this thing was to continue on the trend here, you see that blue number there, 0.0082 pennies, that's the price that I think Turbo could go to if it continues this little bull flag that it's in and breaks out to the upside. Okay, now we'll hold that as a placeholder here, right? Keep that number in mind, 8214, and I'll quickly do a Fibonacci analysis here to figure out what the upside targets might be for Turbo. Okay, and you have a 1272 level here that says that Turbo could get up to 8,000. So, you know, 8214 or 8,000 could be your next upside target for Turbo. And if Turbo decides to go a little bit further than that, then we got the 1618 at 9200 99,253 to be exact. And I know you guys love to see some sick gains here, so we'll see what the 2618 is showing. The 2618 is showing that Turbo can get up to like 12,872, and if it does that, that's basically a double from where you're at. And then we got a 3618 at 16,491, which is a triple, a 3x from where you are right now with Turbo. But those are the upside targets. Let's just put in a little cold dose of reality. If Turbo is not able to catch those bids and it continues falling down to lower prices here, I do believe it could come down to the 200-day moving average. That 200-day moving average is sitting at 42.34, and that would be confluent with the 0.236 retracement. So I think at the worst case, Turbo could come down to 4,200, okay? Which is not too far where it is right now, but just a level to keep in mind. You might be able to scoop up some cheaper Turbo at like 4,200, or maybe a little bit higher than that, anywhere between 4,200 and 4,700, where you got the 0.382 retracement. I think those are some good levels to be looking at for Turbo. All right, so that's your downside target and upside targets. I see we have some more requests here. XRP is another request. I see that. Then we have Brett. Guys, this is going to be a shorter live stream than what I did this weekend. This is going to be like a 1-hour live stream, so there's only so many requests I could do, but I'll try to get to them as much as I can. The ones that I see right now are going to be going over. But yeah, when we hit the 1-hour mark, I got to get out of here. I got to go eat some lunch and do some stuff with my rental car business, and then I'll be, yeah, I got some stuff I need to do today, guys. And then we got Jasmine. We'll take a look at Jasmine at some point here, okay? And Cubic. Appreciate that. Appreciate those requests. You guys have to stick around here. And then Eric had a question. Do I think Ethereum could reach $4,000 this week? I feel like that's the target, the psychological target that a lot of people are looking at is $4,000. I'm not sure if Ethereum can actually do that unless Bitcoin goes new all-time highs here this week, okay? Because I feel like some people are going to front run Ethereum and start selling it before it gets to $4,000 because they probably think 3,900 or 3,950 is good enough. And it might actually just peter out and top out at 3,950 in my opinion. All right, but yeah, let's go look at another crypto here called Dala, I believe, is what I keep seeing as a request here. Or maybe it's Dollars. Yeah, I don't know what that cryptocurrency you want me to look at. If you just type it out and tell me what exchange Dollars at, I'll take a look at that if I can. And I got another request here for ICP. All right, we'll put that in there as well. I think that might be it for requests here for now, guys. I see Beyond Illusions in the YouTube live stream here. Good to see you. Good to see you. We're gonna have to move on from Dollar to Pudgy Penguins here, okay? Because I can't really find Dollar yet. If you know the ticker symbol in the exchange that Dollar's on, then let me know, and then I'll be able to pull up on TradingView here. All right, let's see. Pudgy Penguins. Let me just get rid of some stuff here. All right, and yeah, I'll get rid of this one too. All right. All right, so we're looking at Pudgy Penguin, currently trading at 42,350. Wow, and it's up 13.8%, catching some more bids to the upside. This thing is on a tear. One of the best performing meme coins over the last few weeks here. As I start to zoom out, my previous Fibonacci analysis, I mean, is it still in play here? We were supposed to come up to the 1272 for Pudgy Penguins, and that was at 39,738, and it looks like Pudgy Penguins actually went above that, and we're heading up to the 1618 at 48,332. That could be the next level for Pudgy Penguins, just using my previous Fibonacci analysis. So Pudgy Penguins did do some bullish consolidation here, and it decided to catch the bids on Monday here, and we're moving on up. So just using trend analysis here, And you know, I won't really draw out the bull flag here, but if we were to continue on this trend like we did, and we take this measure move here, yeah, the measure move is saying that Pudgy Penguins get up to like 52,000. I think we got like 10,000 more points here left in Pudgy Penguin for the upside move on Pudgy Penguin. So yeah, I don't know if it makes sense to actually go over the downside targets for Pudgy Penguins, because this thing just is continuing up on the upside here. What would probably make sense is to look at the oscillators and see, you know, how overbought this thing is. And yeah, this thing is continuing to be overbought on the RSI. We're at an RSI of 85 here. I'll blow that up a little bit. But yeah, you can see that, you know, Pudgy Penguins became overbought for the first time on July 2nd here. Was overbought, then we came down back to, you know, regular bullish neutral territory here. And then we became overbought again on July 10th, and we caught those bids, and we've been overbought since July 10th, and now we're continuing to be even more overbought on Pudgy Penguins. So Pudgy Penguins, definitely a coin worth looking at. I think it's still high risk to actually be trying to buy this and hoping to you know, someone else is going to buy from you at a higher price, but it seems to be the case right now. Those who bought here are now being rewarded with people who are buying at higher prices than where they bought it at just a week ago. Okay, so I'm not really sure what I could do for downside targets here, because it looks like Pudgy Penguin is no longer going down or consolidating. It's actually going up. But if this thing was to come down for whatever reason, it could come down to this 21 EMA, this white line, sitting at 24,600, which would be right where the 618 retracement, 6.5 golden pocket retracement would be at. So this could still be in play here. I'm not sure why it would come down and just invalidate all this bullish consolidation that it did, but it's saying that it could come down. I think, you know, we might get a couple more good days here out of Pudgy Penguin. This 21 EMA is going to try his best to catch up to where the price is at. And if the price was to come down while the 21 EMA is coming up, it might actually meet right at the level where we consolidated here at 32,000 for Pudgy Penguins. So I think this level right here is going to be where you could try to scoop up some cheaper Pudgy Penguins if it even comes back down to that level. We might not ever see that level again, but I think this level would be a level to look at buying some cheaper Pudgy Penguins if it does come down to like the low 30,000 area. All right, looking at we're gonna look at MicroStrategy because we got a request for that. So I guess this kind of falls into Bitcoin again. But yeah, MicroStrategy is a company that buys a bunch of Bitcoin, for those who don't know, and they're on the NASDAQ. So this is a stock, okay, a company that was around before Bitcoin was even around, and then they started buying Bitcoin with the extra cash that they had, and they started selling shares to buy as much Bitcoin as they can. And Michael Saylor is the CEO, and he's the one that came up with the strategy of doing a Bitcoin treasury strategy, which is working out pretty well for them right now, as Bitcoin is like near all-time highs at $120,000. I do have some previous chart work here that I'm probably going to get rid of for now. Let me just go ahead and get rid of this previous chart work. Clean the chart up a little bit here. But yeah, MicroStrategy clearly above all its moving averages here, above the 200-day moving average and the 50 and the 100. Kind of getting a bounce off of this 21 EMA. The 21 EMA usually follows the price as closely as possible. When the price gets away from the 21 EMA, either the 21 EMA tries to catch up to it, or the price ends up coming right back down to it. And it looks like the price came right back down to it. 21 EMA, this white line is at 410 right now. Looks like we got down to like 413 today on the stock market for MicroStrategy. I think this is going to probably end up being an area where it's going to bounce off of, especially if Bitcoin goes to higher prices. This might be the lowest price you can get MicroStrategy, and this might end up being just another higher low until you end up going to higher prices here for MicroStrategy, right? The only thing that would stop this thing from going to higher prices is if Bitcoin actually comes down. This stock is actually trading off of like whatever Bitcoin is doing here, okay? You can see that this stock has gone to higher prices here back in May when Bitcoin was at like $112,000. And then when Bitcoin actually got up to like $119,000, $120,000 last week, the stock was able to make another higher high as well. So if Bitcoin goes up, it makes another higher high. The stock is probably going to make another higher high, MicroStrategy. But we have seen MicroStrategy get up to higher prices when Bitcoin was at lower prices. When we saw Bitcoin at like $100,000 for the first time back in like November, we saw MicroStrategy get up to like $543,000. I'm sorry, $543, not $1,000. But we've seen MicroStrategy, and that was mainly from the euphoria. MicroStrategy probably did not deserve to be this high, okay? But it looks like as Bitcoin continues climbing up and making new all-time highs here, we might see MicroStrategy get back up to that $543 level all over again here, maybe later on in 2025 here, okay? Let me just try to do a Fibonacci analysis here real quick. And we'll try to see if there's any resistance levels that might come into play and stop us from going to higher prices here. And we do have a 786 that I see kind of like could be where the next level for MicroStrategy might be. And that's $474. $474 is where MicroStrategy might actually start going sideways once it actually gets up to that level here. Before it can justify going up to higher prices here. Okay. But yeah, it looks like we actually obtained the golden pocket level here at the 0.618, 0.65 level at between $424 and $433. We have achieved that level, and we're just waiting to see if we can get up to this higher price of $474. Would be my next upside target for MicroStrategy. Downside target, we could end up coming right back down to like $380, which is the 0.5 retracement. And that's the level that we were like trading at roughly back in the beginning of July and the end of June here. If Bitcoin does come down in price here, I think we could see $380 all over again for MicroStrategy. All right, moving on to a crowd favorite here, and one of Porky's favorite coins to hate on. Okay, so it's definitely a crowd favorite. Whether you love it or like it, you either love it or you love to hate on it. But XRP is the next coin up here that we'll take a look at. XRP currently trading at $3.52. XRP had a spectacular move this past week here, especially around, I think, was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday we saw XRP go up 14%, clearing above the $3 level and getting as high as like $3.55 on Thursday, and then following the next day after that on Friday getting as high as $3.66. Then we tried to retest those highs again here on Monday. We got the $3.65, not close enough, and actually technically a lower high. I'm a little bit worried, you know, with XRP, because XRP got clearly ahead of itself here. The 21 EMA, this white line, is trying to catch up and provide some support for XRP. If XRP does come down to the 21 EMA, this 21 EMA is sitting at $2.80. I believe that is a level that we were looking at in some of my previous live streams as a level that XRP needs to get above. I'm going to throw on the VRVP indicator here to try and see where XRP could go to next here if it does decide to come down, okay? Because I am a little bit worried about XRP if it does come down on us, okay? Okay, so VRVP is this green and red bars off to the right. This shows you the green is all the buying, the red is all the selling. Excuse me, I got probably gotta get some water here. XRP, if it does decide to come back down, right, you got the value area high sitting at around $2.70, which is right where that 21 EMA is at. Okay, so I think 270, 280 could be a level that XRP revisits if we lose the bullish momentum. Okay, but there's no guarantee that we're going to lose the bullish momentum here on XRP. XRP could continue going up to higher prices if it gets more money pouring into the space here, And of course, if Bitcoin's going to new all-time highs, I would expect XRP to start climbing up as well. Let's look at the RSI here real quick. You'll see that the RSI, if I can just blow this up a little bit, RSI is also overbought and overcooked here on XRP. Okay, XRP is currently at a overbought rating. It's currently at 83 on the RSI, and we've seen it get as bad as like 88 on last Thursday. So XRP needs to like kind of chill out a little bit, unless it wants to continue going up to higher prices. Then yeah, then we stay overbought then in that case, okay? Nothing says that you can't stay overbought. We've seen Pudgy Penguins be overbought for like the entire month of July, so could XRP do the same? Yeah, it could. It possibly do the same. But it's a high risk game. Buying at, you know, with the RSI this high and prices this high, it's a high risk game that you're playing here. You're hoping that XRP continues this bullish momentum if you're staying in the trade and staying in the long for XRP. Now let me go ahead and measure the Fibonacci here to see where XRP could go next, right? So if XRP was to continue cashing bids, we do have a 1272 level here that says $4.13 XRP is your next upside target. I think that's pretty modest. You know, I think once XRP does get up to $4, there will be some people that will click the sell button. All right, just because it's a psychological target, and also you got the 1272 here at that level. But then the 1618 says that XRP could get up to like 473. And then for those who are in it for the long term here, you do have a 2618 that says XRP could get up to like $6.46 here. Okay, but I think that's going to be later on in 2025 here. Downside targets, if XRP was to start losing its momentum and going down to lower prices, we do have a 786 that says XRP should revisit the $3.29 level. And then we have the 618 at $3. I think $3 is a psychological target for a lot of XRP investors and traders out there. I think XRP is going to be vigorously defended at that $3 level. Okay, mainly because it's a psychological level and it's also a Fibonacci level, the golden pocket level. So I think $3 is your downside target for XRP if it's not able to hold 330. Okay. All right, so that's XRP in a nutshell. Now we have to take a look at Brett, and then Cubic, Jasmine, and ICP. And guys, if you are enjoying this analysis here, by all means, go ahead and click that like button. And for my TikTok guys, double tap that screen. That's how you do the like button. Okay. Let's see. Zach Counted is saying, is that the volume footprint? Yeah, that's the visual. The VRVP is the visual range volume profile indicator. Let's see. You notice 20 RSI tends to keep it overbought when it's in the region. And then Neymar says, well, let's look at Brett. Yeah, we are going to look at Brett next. And Coin from Solana is asking me about Monkey Coin. I might be able to do that. I'm gonna have to speed run through some of these coins here because I was only planning on doing a 1 hour live stream and we're like 40 minutes into it. And then John 316 is asking me about ZBCN and Kronos. Alright, John, those are gonna be the last two coins. I'm gonna put that as the last two requests here because I got some other things I need to do today. This is only gonna be a 1 hour live stream for now. All right. And then Tarek is asking me, have I heard of Rose? No, I haven't. Is that a crypto? A meme coin? All right, let's look at Brett. Brett USD. And we're looking at Brett right now. Brett token currently trading at 6 cents roughly. And Brett has got above the 200-day moving average, so that's good to see. Okay, not in a clear and convincing fashion as some of these other altcoins, but hey, you know what? you're doing what you need to do to become bullish in my mind, because once you get above the 200-day moving average, I can be bullish on that asset again. Okay, now I want to see Brett get above some of the highs, previous highs that it made, like this one here on June 11th. I want to see it get above 0.068 pennies here, and then I also want to eventually see it get above this other previous high here at a little bit above 9 cents, 0.092 cents here. Okay. But yeah, Brett has some work to do, just like a lot of these other altcoins, to catch up and recover. But I think we are actually starting to get, you know, the recovery here in Brett in some of these altcoins here, where we saw the lowest low, I think, around April 7th at 2 cents roughly, and then we got another higher low here at like 3 cents on June 22nd. And yeah, just keep making higher lows and eventually make higher highs, and you can consider yourself to be bullish on Brett as you continue on a bull trend here. Now I'm going to quickly do a Fibonacci analysis here, measuring from the highs back in May down to the lows here in June. As Brett continues up to higher prices here, we want to see it get above, and probably it's going to trade sideways at the 618 level here at like roughly 7 pennies, this golden pocket level here. Then eventually we're going to see if it can recapture the 8 cent level here, where the 0.786 retracement's at. And then eventually we have to capture that 9 cent level, okay? But going forward, maybe later on in 2025, we might see Brett at the 1618 level at 12 pennies, almost 13 pennies, at 0.127 pennies as a future upside target for Brett. Downside target, if Brett was to lose this momentum and come down to lower levels, let's see if this 200-day moving average acts as support at like 0.056 pennies, which is also confluent with the 0.382 retracement. I think if you're trying to get some cheaper Brett, you could probably get it at like 5.5 pennies here. Okay, somewhere in this area. All right, that's Brett. We'll move on to Cubic. Cubic currently trading at well, a bunch of zeros. We're just gonna call it 20,700 here, down 8% today. Not sure why you're having a bad day, but you are having a bad day here for Cubic. But that's after having a bunch of good days here. We've been going up and to the right ever since July 13th, the middle of July here. About a week of green candles here for Cubic. Yesterday we were up 13%, okay, and then the day on Sunday we were up 15%. Okay, so this thing probably needs to cool down a little bit. It's clearly above the 200-day moving average in a clear and convincing fashion here. You got above all the previous highs here throughout the spring, okay, and now you're kind of like at the same level that you're at back here in early January. Oh, I'm sorry, late January. So yeah, all this pain has got erased. Looks like it got erased over the last couple of weeks here. So Cubic doing this thing to try to do a recovery here, but I'm pretty sure this thing is now overbought. Yeah, if we look at the RSI here, it was overbought here at 84 on yesterday, and now you're at an RSI of like 70.69. This thing might need to come down a little bit lower just to cool off on the RSI before you can become bullish again. And if you were to try to scoop up some cheaper Cubic, you might see this thing come down to the 618 at 19,775, which I think we kind of almost did that today. All right, but a better level, or a lower price level, would be this 0.5 retracement at 18,445. We'll see if that actually comes into play here. I don't really see anything else that would be confluent, like any moving averages that might provide support. Okay, but just be aware that if this thing can go up as fast, it can come down just as fast. Okay, and if it does come down to the 200-day moving average at 15,500, that would make sense because you have a 0.236 retracement at that level as well. I think this is the cheapest you can get Cubic if you're trying to get Cubic at a lower price. But if Cubic does catch some bids here and goes to higher prices, you do have a 1618 that says this thing could get up to like 31,000. Okay, which is, I believe, is like a 50% move from where you are right now. So this thing could do some more damage to the upside here if it catches those bids again. All right, moving on to a Jasmy coin. See, Jasmy currently trading just below 2 pennies at 0.019 pennies here. Looking at the daily chart for Jasmy. Jasmy has got above the 200-day moving average, so clap your hands. Congratulations for doing that. I can now consider you bullish as long as you're above the 200-day moving average. What I would expect now is I would think Jasmy, if it's not going to continue being bullish, then it might just go sideways and do some sideways consolidation around the 200-day moving average, sitting at 0.018 pennies here. Let's take a look at the oscillator, the RSI, real quick to see what that's showing. RSI is overbought right now at 73, so I wouldn't be surprised if this thing actually kind of chills out and just, you know, takes a rest near the 200-day moving average, right? Just stay here at the 200-day moving average, use that as support, and I think you'll be fine with Jasmy. Now, quickly using a Fibonacci here, okay? Where could Jasmy come down if it does decide to come down? If it does decide to come down, you got the 0.618 at 0.017 pennies, just below the 200-day moving average. So don't be surprised if it does go below the 200-day moving average and then kind of like catches bids around like 0.017 pennies. Kind of like peeks its head below it, only for it to come back up again. The cheapest downside target, if this thing was to make an aggressive move to the downside, is the 0.236 retracement at 0.013 pennies. Okay, not sure why it would come down there, but maybe it might get some support off the 100-day moving average, which is currently close to that area as well. Okay, on the upside, you got 1272 at 0.022 pennies. And then you got the 1618 saying this thing could probably get up to 2.5 pennies. And let's see it. I think that would be confluent to like where it was trading at back here in January. I think the people who bought here in January, they're going to click the sell button when it gets to 2.5 pennies here. Okay. All right. That's Jasmy. Let's take a look at ICP. I don't think I've seen ICP as a request in a while. Let's take a look at what it's done so far. Alright, so I have looked at this chart before on Binance Exchange. ICP currently trading at $6.02. I have some previous chart work here that showed that ICP had a double bottom here on April 7th, and then also another bottom here on June 23rd, or 22nd actually, I believe, somewhere around that time. And you got your double bottom, which means that it's showing that buyers are stepping in and confirming that as a low. And now we're off to see if we can go to higher prices. I have measured, you know, the double bottom here, saying that ICP could get up to like $8.37, which is that blue number right there. I think it's currently working on its way to getting up to that level. But as I zoom in here, looks like the 200-day moving average is acting as resistance right now on Jasmy. I keep mixing these things up. On ICP, okay? So ICP is getting rejected off the 200-day moving average, which is sitting at $6.22. Not quite as bullish as some of these other coins that we've seen so far. I will be bullish on ICP once it does get above $6.22. And I also highlighted another line here that I drew, $6.37 on ICP. This is a level that ICP has bounced off of in the past as using it as support, and also rejecting it as resistance. So I think 637, anywhere between 622 and 637 is going to be a tough area for ICP to get above, because there's a lot of resistance at that area. Okay, but do that, and then I think it could be off to the races for ICP, because I think I see, like, yeah, we got some sideways consolidation here back in October at like $8. And then we got some more sideways consolidation at $10. So we got to get past like $6.20, $6.37. And then you can see $8, $10 ICP later on in the future here. And I got the measured move for the double bottom at $8.37. I think that should be a good take profit target going forward on ICP. All right. Moving on to Monkey. Just trying to speed run this. Tarek asking me, am I a pilot? Yes, I am. I'm capable of flying airplanes both on a good day and on a bad day. I have my instrument rating, and I can also fly for hire. I have my commercial pilot license as well. All right. Just a neat little thing to know about me. I know I got my profile picture with me in the headset. That was me just flying for fun, and I took a picture of it flying in like a small Cessna 172. All right, cool. Let's see. Daniel, high on life. Wish Tesla went back to 100. And then I have a request here for Teller. Can you save that for tomorrow? Because I've already kind of hit the time limit on my live stream here. What you could do is you could come join my Discord channel, right? Send me a message and I can look at the charts here on my Discord. If I'm not able to do your request today, just send a message. First of all, you're going to need to join the Discord. The Discord is free. This is the Meet Damien Discord. But yeah, I usually post when I go live on the Discord. And you can just message me, you know, follow me here on TikTok. Send me a message. Say, hey, Damien, can you give me the invite link so I can invite you guys to the Discord? And yeah, come join the Meet Damien Discord. I'll send you the link if you message me, and I'll go over your chart when I got the free time to do so. But like, I got way too many requests right now, and we're getting towards the end of this live stream. So yeah, if you want to continue on and actually have me look at your chart in detail, I can do it on the Discord, the Meet Damien Discord channel. Okay. All right, moving on to Monkey. Monkey currently trading at 0.003 pennies, down 6.5% today. This looks like a brand new cryptocurrency, and it's on. I'm looking at this thing on Mexi Exchange, and Mexi usually gets the coins first before any other cryptocurrency exchanges do, and this surprises me. So this thing started trading on June 30th. I don't really have that much data here, but what I can just point out is you are in an uptrend on Monkey. Just continue that uptrend. Keep making these higher lows on the daily chart, and I think you'll be fine. You're also making higher highs here on Monkey. So yeah, continue doing that and just show that you're not going to go down and go to lower prices here. And I think this thing will eventually go up to higher prices here. But I really can't do much analysis here on Monkey. I could quickly do a Fibonacci analysis based off the high here to the low. And it says that the golden pocket's at like 5,020. So maybe this thing comes back up to 5,020 if it decides to be bullish here. If it's bearish, we could revisit 2,500 all over again, which I think is where the lows were at back in last week, and you know, on July 14th and July 15th here. We could come back down to those levels here. Okay. But yeah, I can't really do much analysis here because there's not much to look at. There's not that much data here on Monkey. But I think it's doing alright for now. Let's see a quick look at the oscillators. You're not overbought on the RSI, so this thing could continue probably going up to higher prices if it wants to. Alright, now we'll look at the ZBCN and then Chronos from my my buddy John316. Don't forget the like button, guys, if you're enjoying the analysis. And then join the Meet Damien free Discord channel if you guys can. You can also, for my YouTube guys, you can go on the description and look at the Discord channel. The link should be in the description. And you can also message me or like write a comment asking for it, and I can leave it in the comments here. All right, ZBCN for John316. Awesome name, by the way. All right, ZBCN currently trading at 0.004 pennies. We have been looking at this chart. I know John likes to request it all the time, but I think ZBCN is doing quite fine here. You got to bounce off the 50-day moving average. You kind of like went below it for a little bit for like a couple of days, only for you to come back up to it, then retest it, the 50-day moving average, this green line here. And you're just continuing to make higher lows. So kudos to ZBCN for doing that. I think you can continue doing what you're doing and moving on to the upside here. And if ZBCN continues moving on to the upside, let's see what where we could possibly go to on the Fibonacci here. So we got above the 0.236 retracement. Looks like we're moving on up to the 0.382 at 4,180. And eventually I want to see this thing make its way up to the golden pocket here at 5,500. Okay, get up to 5,500 or 5,300, and I think that's where you'll probably get some sideways trading action before you go up to higher prices. But would be nice to see ZBCN actually get up to that 7,000 level all over again. And if it does, then we got the 1618 saying that this thing could possibly get up to like 10,000 probably later on in 2025 for ZBCN. But I think you're doing just fine here on ZBCN. Let's look at the RSI real quick. RSI is not overbought. You're at 59 on the RSI. I think this is a cryptocurrency worth getting into, guys, because it hasn't really done a crazy run up like some of these other altcoins that have already done so. I think the safest bet is to be in ZBCN rather than some of these other altcoins and meme coins. But you guys can do whatever you want to do. Not financial advice. If you want to stick with the winning horse that's been winning this whole time, then do that. But I think ZBCN is going to play some catch up here in the future. So I think this is a good area for ZBCN. Downside target, maybe ZBCN comes and retests the 50-day movement average all over again at 3,000. Okay, but I think you're doing just fine here with ZBCN. All right, moving on to Cronos. And I know this is another popular coin that John316 likes to request almost all the time here. Cronos currently trading at 12.5 pennies roughly. Looking at the daily chart here, and Cronos has got above the 11.5 level, so congratulations. That was a level that we were eyeballing for a long time here. However, this is a level, 11.5 is a level that it could come back down to if it starts going down for any reason here. But yeah, 11.5 was a level that we, let me just get rid of the moving averages real quick. 11.5 was a level that we either used as resistance or as support all throughout the last few months here. And we clearly got above that level, so good to see that. Okay, so now where could Cronos go next? I think I'm going to measure from the high here to the low here and do a quick Fibonacci and see what the extension levels have to say about that. Alright, so moving on. Actually, no, I'll go from here down to here. Okay. So it looks like we already hit the 1272 level here at 13 cents. And we did that on Friday. Okay. The next level would be the 1618 at 14.5 cents. I think that's your next upside target for for Cronos here. And then of course you get the 2618 at 18 cents. Let me go ahead and throw on the VRVP indicator. Because I think this could also give us an idea as of where this thing could go next. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this now. But going forward here, we could get some more resistance at 14.5 cents, which I think we've already said. And then there's going to be some more resistance at like 16 cents for Cronos. Let me just zoom out and gather some more data. And you got a value area high at like roughly 16 cents. Okay, so I think those are your upside targets. Like 14.5 and 16 cents should be your take profit target 1 and take profit target 2 if you're able to get up back to those levels again on Cronos. All right. I think I got it in me. I'll try to do TRB for you, Arklow. But yeah, go ahead and join my Discord, and then you can, guys, when you guys join the Discord here, right? I'll be able to look at your charts when I'm not live streaming, and I can give you, some ideas as to where your coins can go next. And it's a way to stay in tune and stay in touch with me when I'm not live streaming. Okay, so yeah, join that Meet Damien Discord. Send me a message, follow me, and send me a message, and I'll be able to respond back and give you the link to the Discord channel, okay? All right, we'll take a look at TRB as my last request here, and then we'll look at Bitcoin on the way out, as we always do. Telor. Oh, I do have some previous chart work here. Okay. And I got the VRVP. Why not? We'll continue using the VRVP here. You got the point of control, which is the highest volume node at like $41 here. You're currently trading at $44, so you're slightly above it. Next resistance level on the upside is going to be 49 cents. I'm sorry, $49 for Telor. And then once you get past $49, then the volume starts to drop off, and we might see a little bit of resistance at $58, which is where we were trading at back in like November of last year. But you got even more resistance at the value area high, sitting at about $68. This is where we kind of topped off here back on May 30th, and it's also a level that we were kind of like topping off at back in October, November, December of last year. Okay. But yeah, I think those are your targets. Upside targets is gonna be like $68. That's your take profit 2. Take profit target 1 is probably gonna be about like $59. Okay, on Telor. Let me just throw on the moving averages, see what the moving averages is saying, and I'll get rid of the VRVP. So on Telor, you have gone above the 200-day moving average. If Telor was to come down for any reason, I think it could revisit the 200-day moving average at $37. Try to use that as support before we move on and make a higher low and go to higher highs here, and could continue on this uptrend. But yeah, Telor has been on an uptrend for the most part here. I kind of have to readjust this now because now it's looking more like that is the uptrend. But yeah, keep doing what you're doing here on Telor. I think you're doing fine. Making these higher lows here, and then you just got to make higher highs and try to get over this high here on May 30th where you were at like $67. I think, yeah, $67 should be your take profit target when this thing does actually get up to that price level. All right, let's go ahead and look at Bitcoin on the way out, and that's going to be it for me, guys. Appreciate all the requests. You guys kept me busy here today. All right, Bitcoin trading at 118,750. We're still up for the day at $1,318. I'm not sure why Bitcoin would invalidate this, but if we get a red day tomorrow and some more red days, then we could see Bitcoin come down and revisit the $113,700 level, which is where the 618 retracement's at for Bitcoin. Okay, that could be where you can scoop up some cheaper Bitcoin. Even better is if it came down to the 0.382 level at $107,000, $108,000, and you could scoop up some cheaper Bitcoin at that level as well. So this could be a buy zone 1 and buy zone 2 if you're able to be lucky enough to get Bitcoin at that price. Okay, but going forward, if Bitcoin continues this bullish momentum and actually starts heading to higher prices here, first we got to get past that $123,000 level here, like we did back on Monday, July 14th. Okay, and I think Bitcoin could end up coming up to the 1272 level at $130,000 Bitcoin, or maybe even the 1618 on $138,000. I think that could happen in the next few days to next few weeks here, whether it's later on here in July or sometime in August. Those are your bullish upside targets on Bitcoin. I think we could see $130,000 Bitcoin sometime in the near future here, if Bitcoin continues being bullish. Okay, but that's an if. Bitcoin could always come down, whatever reasons that I don't know yet. But I think we have a lot of bullish momentum and catalysts going forward here. I'm suspecting and I'm expecting Bitcoin to go to $130,000 rather than 113 or 107. Okay, but yeah, or we could just trade sideways here and stay at $118,000, which would be better for the altcoins, because if Bitcoin stays where it's at and doesn't go up or down, then more money will start pouring in the altcoins, and those altcoins can start moving up again against Bitcoin. But that's going to be it for today's live stream here, guys. I am actually going on vacation tomorrow. I don't know if I could squeeze in a live stream around the same time tomorrow before I have to start heading off and and going on my vacation. But live streams might be a little bit difficult for me to do. I'm gonna try to bring my my laptop and my computer to try to go live while I'm on vacation, but it's gonna be here and there. And I don't know, it might be early live streams in the morning, or it might be, you know, like 10 o'clock in the morning, or it might be like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon if I do go live during vacation. But yeah, be on the lookout for my live streams when I get a chance to get around to it. And you know, be on the lookout for you know, I'll try to do some YouTube shorts and some TikTok videos here as well, to keep you guys informed as to like some of the more popular cryptocurrencies that are doing well, or maybe even doing bad. I'll try to keep you guys updated with the YouTube shorts and the TikTok videos. But guys, appreciate you guys coming out. I'll see you on the next live stream. Not sure when, probably tomorrow around the same time. If not, I'll just try to get around to it whenever I can. Take care, guys, and don't forget to join that Meet Damien Discord channel one more time here, so you can stay in touch with me, especially while I'm on vacation here. Take care, guys.